So some of his dearest friends, Mike, obviously, is going to do some talking here. I'm going to start it off. How's everybody doing?
Great.
Yeah, it's been a rough couple of years for everyone. It's great to see everyone come out and support this. You know, COVID kind of put a damper on a lot of what we were trying to do at the beginning to get a service or something like that. So Jason really spearheaded getting this thing put together, and we just figured this would be the best way to do it, where we kind of had a service and then we had a concert. So right now, let's do this. Everyone's got a lot of angst in them and whatever. We're not going to do a moment of silence. Do a moment of loud on the count of three. Let's everybody just scream, yell. Let's get it out. 1, 2, 3. I think the person we wanted to is hearing that right now. So, you know, I thought I would speak first. You know, I told Jason a couple of things I'd just like to say. You know, I didn't know Mike well, but, you know, this crowd and a lot of you guys have all been family to me. I've been at this for 20 years, going from one venue to this venue. You know, I wasn't around for a lot of the Penny Arcade days, but, you know, I really think that we did kind of make a transfer from there to here. I don't get to see a lot of you guys as much as I'd like to, but when we have these shows, the Poison the Prophets, the Million Miles to Broadways, the Hate Machines and all that kind of stuff, it really brings a lot of us back together. We don't do it often enough. Maybe we can sort of try and change that. I know things aren't the same a lot, but anyways, I appreciate y'all, all the support that you've shown me in this club over the years. And that's a big part of why I wanted to speak, because that was Mike. You know, when Jason first came to me and told me that Mike was sick, you know, and then within a day or two later contacted me and said that he was in the hospital. You know, everything just sort of transpired very quickly, and sadly, you know, we lost him. And I remember being home that morning when Jason, you know, got a hold of me, and, you know, I got a little upset about it. And my daughter was like, "Well, did you know him really well?" And I said, "Well, you know, I don't know Donnie that well. I don't know Jason that well. I mean, it's not like we talk every day, every week. I don't know a lot of you all that well, but again, you know, a lot of us have done this together for 20 years. So even though I don't know you well and we just pass each other by in the venue and it's a hi, hello, whatever, this is the family, you know what I mean? And Mike was family. So, you know,
Thank you, Randy!
well, thank you. So, you know, Mike was very loyal to me, and, you know, this was just the place he liked to play, and would, you know, yada, yada, yada. But anyway, you know, Mike was the kind of guy, there's a few of you know, whether I was working the door, which I used to at one point in time, or I'd be at the end of the bar, he would come in, go get a beer or whatever, and he'd come back to the door without change. Every show. And we would, you know, shoot the shit about something for a good 15 minutes. And that was Mike. And I really appreciate when people do that. Is, you know, when I'm here, I'm busy and you don't always get to see me maybe in the best mood, but, you know, I'm just trying to make sure that everything is going smooth and well here. But anyway, you know, and when I talked to Jason, I said that the best word I could describe Mike is he was, you know, he was a character. Because what would happen is, you know, the first 15 minutes, you know, at the front door would be a lot of band talk. We're doing this, we're doing that, we're recording, we're gonna play this, you know. And then within an hour or two, and I look back, because, you know, I know these guys know the same stories, you know. After Mike would have about 3 or 4 beers in him, by that point in time, I'd be at the end of the bar, and it would be, you know, it would be the other Mike, you know, to where I, you know, it's like, yeah, dude, yeah. It's like, yeah, dude, so I got this chick that wants to, you know, tug me off in the bathroom, and it's just like, you know, so then that would be the next 15, 20, 25 minutes, and so he was just, you know, he was a character, and I'm gonna miss him. We're all gonna miss him, you know, and the reason that we're all here is because he was a staple of this music scene for so long, and let's hope this is, let's hope that this is very few and far between, because this isn't my favorite thing to do. It's not your favorite thing to come to. It'll get better as the night goes on, I promise you that. But yeah, you know, I do miss Mike, and I'm gonna miss him for shows like this. I miss him coming through the doors. I miss the conversations about the band. I sort of miss the conversations about the tugging and but it's all good. That's what we're here for. But you know, we just wanted to make sure that we did something to honor Mike because, again, he was a pillar of this community, the music scene in Rochester for so many years, and we have a lot of them. And I'll repeat myself again to say, let's just hope that this is the last time we have to do this for a good long while. I miss his memes too. You know, I'm not a late stayer-upper, so I'd be the, you know, like everyone probably, I'd roll over at 7:30 in the morning, and I'd start scrolling Facebook, and there'd be a picture of Jason, you know, of a you know, Bulgarian midget with a diaper on, with Jason's, yeah, you know, with Jason's face pasted on it, grabbing a pair of donkey balls or something. So we all miss that, and you know, I'll try. Well, let's all, you know, if we have a chance to see Jason tonight, you know, let's see if he can carry on that tradition because, I mean, what was better than at, you know, 7:30 starting your morning off with like a fucking laugh from this kid and the shit that he used to post. But anyways, I'm done. So we've got Matt Caustic. He's going to come up next, and these four guys were dear friends of mine. They've all got something to say. Give them a round. Then we're going to take a break. Then we're going to take a break, we're all going to get drunk, and then the bands are going to play, and we're going to have some fun. So once again, thank you all for your support over the years. Thanks for coming out tonight, and Matt.
I'm going to talk about something that, as musicians, we can all relate to. Frequencies and energy. Everything in this room that we see is a frequency. Everything you've heard your whole life is a frequency.
You got this, brother.
The people you meet are energy. Look at the energy that Mike left behind. Yeah. Every day when you stare at somebody's eyes, take it for what it is, and it's not here forever. Look at this, the energy. I'm talking about. We should all be sad. Holy fuck, I haven't smiled this much in I don't know how long. I'm seeing people I haven't seen in years, and if there's anything that Mike would have loved right now, it's just to watch our faces. And I believe he's here. He's been fucking with me since he passed. I'll go to type something, all of a sudden it'll say sexual. I'll be like, what? It had nothing to do with that. I'll be like, yeah, it's probably him. But here's something else that I've come to kind of grab onto. This energy, when we connect with people, it doesn't die. Our body, like any energy that ever happened anywhere, it doesn't go away, it changes form. This is the key to it. It just changes. You might not see him, but you'll feel him. You might not know it, but like someday, you'll meet somebody and you'll be like, I know your energy. I know where you come from. And that might be Mike. Remember that, all right? There goes my fucking street credibility, and I did not shed a tear. Does anybody see a tear in the front row? My lip is shaking just a smidgen, but there's no tears. Frequencies and energy, we all resonate, we all relate with each other, we all connect on fucking levels, and music is the ultimate frequency. Look at it, connects with your brain. Like, we know Mike through his music, and that's why I almost can't, like, believe he's passed away, is because I'm hearing him. I'm involved. He's still involved in my life. And as musicians, God bless it. We will be somewhat immortal. Keep putting out those frequencies. Put out the good energy and smile, because Mike fucking loves it.
Those who don't know me, I was Mike's cousin. My name's Blake. First time I've ever had to do anything like this. Bear with me, I'm reading off my phone.
You can do this!
Do it! First of all, I'd like to thank Randy for opening up the doors to do this and allowing him to have a place to show his talent and his love for music that he had found at a very young age. We'd like to thank Millie Miles, Caustic, Poison Prophet, playing the show. I'd like to thank Jason for being my personal rock for all of this shit. And we especially would like to thank all of you for showing up tonight to show your support. Thank you for all the texts, phone calls, pictures, and videos that were sent to our family. We'd like to send apologies for not keeping people informed a little bit better in the beginning. But it was a non-expected experience, and it really threw us for a loop, and we were devastated. With all the COVID restrictions and all the shit going on, people were scared, they had been gathering and whatnot. It was uncertain of how to handle things, and with all that in mind, at the same time, we wanted to give respect to our uncle, to be able to let him handle things he wanted, if we believed it was right or not. Who was Mike Harty? Mike Harty was something different than every one of us. To me, he was a cousin. More importantly, he was one of my best friends. Mike was a performer, songwriter, most of all. His feelings went right to paper. I'm sure we could all share a million memories of who he was and remember the when, what we did with him, and whatnot. Don't ever forget the memories and the times you shared with him. I know he treasured all the times and the times he spent with you. I just lost another cousin last night. If you have friends, family you're not getting along with, straighten it out. Straighten this shit out. You never know when you're going to be gone. So if you'd like to rock the house with these three bands, Mike, we love you. Thank you very much.
Bear with me a little bit, because I wrote this all down, but my handwriting is so bad I really can't read it. So, you know, when I was sitting thinking about what I was going to write, there are so many memories, there's so many stories. There's funny stories and there's tragic ones, and I think it's 23, 24 years that I knew Mike, and so it's a lifetime for some of you of memories that we had together. But I thought I would share just Mike as I knew him. I met Mike in the late 90s. We were both jamming in different bands. He was in Defcon 5, I think, at the time. And Defcon, yes. And my band was down the hall from his, and I heard this band playing, and I heard this guitar sound, and I was like, oh my gosh, that's so brutal. What is that? Where's that coming from, you know? And so I just wandered down the hall and met Mike and met the boys in the band and everything. And you know, Mike had that tone, that sick, awesome tone. And no matter what band Mike was in, he was always focused on that tone, having that killer sound. He had a very, you know, amazing ear for music, an amazing ear for what sounded good and how to structure a song. Mike knew things and heard things in music that I'll never know and I'll never hear. He had an amazing gift in that way.
Yeah! Hell yeah!
So by 2001, we had left our former bands and we had collaborated with some other guys and started Cypher. And so as we were writing for Cypher and getting ready for our first show, one morning we're sitting in the garage on Desmond Street and we're hanging out. Remember the parties there? That place was nuts. But we're sitting there and we're watching on the TV, and me and Mike together watched the Twin Towers fall. And even as, our world was uncertain and what was going to happen for the future was uncertain, we spent that day with slack-jawed watching the news and writing music. Because Mike was singular in his focus. It was music. It was... Hello, Mike? Thank y'all for making this easier.
Sorry, Peck.
It's hard. That's okay. I wouldn't have it any other way. Another thing that I wrote down about Cypher was that, when we played our first show, it was sold out now at the Penny Arcade. Now, most of those people in there had never heard us, but Mike, his drive, he printed so many thousands of stickers and would walk the mall handing them out and handing out these 2-song demo CDs. And those stickers were on phone booths, they were on drive-thrus, they were everywhere. And that was all Mike was doing, that was his idea. And it worked because we filled and sold out the arcade, having never played a show before. And that was an experience that I'll never forget. So I say all that just to say that, this wasn't a hobby for Mike. This was his way of life. Jamming with Mike was a privilege. And from the day we started jamming together in Cypher, Mike made me better as a singer. He made me understand music better. He made me work harder to sound better. And I believe he did that with everybody he jammed with. He had more faith in me than I had in me. And I know if it weren't for Mike, half the music I've created in the last 24 years wouldn't exist. And I'll always be grateful. One of the things I'll miss most is our 1 to 2 hour long phone calls. That's not an exaggeration. I don't have another friend that I talk to like that. He was always there for you, when you needed to talk. And I was thankful to be there for him when he got sick. Not just for physical things, but I was most blessed to be there for his spiritual needs. And those of you who know me know, that I'm no saint and that I don't consider myself righteous. But I think that's one of the amazing things about God is that He used my broken, crazy life to affect Mike in a positive way spiritually. And some of you may know and some of you may not have known, but Mike was and is today a very strong believer. Me and Mike spent untold hours around the table sitting there reading our Bibles, studying, praying, and learning together. I wouldn't normally share all of this with you, and I wouldn't do it if I thought Mike wouldn't want me to, but because of those 1 to 2 hour long phone calls, I know for a fact that Mike wanted to share his faith. That was in his heart. And this can be a pretty tough scene sometimes to do that in, but I appreciate you guys letting me do that now. We tend to try to keep religion and politics out of music a lot of times so that we can all bond together under music. and ignore our differences on our faith, ignore our differences on politics. What matters when we're here is the music, and there's not too many places in the world like that, so we appreciate that. This time it's a little too important, so I wanted you to know that Mike remained strong in his faith until the very end. Last time I spoke to Mike, we prayed the Our Father together, and I take comfort knowing that he had faith to hold on to, and that he held on to that faith as he closed his eyes here last time. I know he opened them in heaven. When he came face to face with our Creator, Jesus says to be separate from your body is to be together with the Lord. And I look forward to the day when I'll leave this body in this world to go be with my Heavenly Father. And I know Mike will be waiting. He'll be there, he'll be ready to rock out into eternity. Until that day, Mikey, not a day goes by. Real quick, I'd like to thank my wife because it's our 11th wedding anniversary. 11 years ago, me and Mike were helping each other get into tuxedos, and you know, we started the 11-year adventure of Mike, you know, wanting me to come jam and hang out and stuff, and my wife wanted me to be a father, and so here Mike is, you know, with his memorial on our anniversary. So, thank you for being patient, sweetheart. I love you.
I don't know how I can follow any of that up. I want to thank Randy for letting us put this together, and he basically allowed us to just come in here and do what we want. We said we wanted to have a memorial and a service for Mike. He said, whatever you need, just let me know. And there's not another music venue in this city that would do that. So if everyone can make a little noise for Randy. I want to thank these three guys sitting behind me who've really been a rock to me and helped me get through this. My bandmates, everybody in all these bands, and even bands that are out in the crowd. All of you out here, man, it's I've met a lot of people that I didn't even know that Mike knew, that just messaged me and shared memories and stories. Most of them I probably shouldn't say in here. But it's always, you just shake your head and you know that that was Mike. Usually if he talked to Dave for 2 hours, he probably hung up and then talked to me for 3 after that. And he called Donnie and Jamie and Justin and, you know, everybody else. I really don't have a ton to say, man. I wear my heart on my sleeve. Anyone that's friends with me online knows that this has been really fucking horrible for all of us. There's 3 bands here tonight that haven't played in the last 2 years, and we're here to let the music do the talking and live through Mikey through our music and art. And through that, Mikey lives forever. You can't take any of that away. Thank you, Dave. Again, man, I just want to thank everyone in here. I tried to sit down and write a bunch of stuff down, and I literally couldn't put it into words. I just miss the dude so much, and I know everyone out here does too, man. I think we've all cried enough. We've all had enough sorrow. I want to give a shout out to Joey, Blake's cousin, and Mikey's cousin, who passed suddenly yesterday. Woo! I want to give a shout out to D-Dave. Another staple in the Rochester music scene. And then you can go all the way to freaking Taylor Hawkins from the Foo Fighters, who passed away yesterday, man. It's hard not to use all this as a learning tool for yourself to, nothing's guaranteed. Life is precious, man, so like, let's just live our life to the fucking fullest, and let's have a good fucking time tonight.
Yes, sir.